Greetings and welcome everyone to today's webinar. It's the Internet of Medical Things, number 3. Today's event is brought to you by the Biopharma Research Council, Planet Connect, Symbis 360, and the Privacy Doctor. We have a full agenda today, so a few words of introduction and then we'll jump into the event. Today's event content leaders are Rebecca Herold, myself, Tom Fair, Ronnie Schreiber, and John Honorato. John is our support here today, but he's much more than that, and we greatly appreciate his working with us. So, John, the next slide, please. The mission of the Biopharma Research Council is dedicated to the biopharmaceutical research community and suppliers. So those are the groups we service. We provide educational resources, promote scientific discourse, and we develop debates central to the research and development process for the biopharmaceutical community. We create an environment for scientists to meet and share ideas on a broad variety of leading-edge topics, not only with webinars, but also with live events and other types of meetups and get-togethers. Can I have the next slide, John? Planet Connect is the group that produces these events, and we are trusted experts in event planning. Our flexible, cost-effective meeting solutions keep attendees coming back for more. By leveraging the latest technologies while highlighting industry trends, we create an experience that allows the attendees to focus on what matters the most, making meaningful connections, not meetings. We handle making the meetings. And we make great meetings, if I may say so myself. John, can I have the next slide, please? Before we get too much further along, I'd also like to talk about a new event we'll be introducing. This is Protecting Data from Black Hats. It's a cross-industry event. We'll be targeting retail, telecom, pharma, healthcare, universities, and hospitals. The event is in New Jersey, and the location to be determined as well as the time. We'll be providing more information, but we thought since we had a good audience today, we'd let them know. We recognize this in responsibility, our responsibility to bring you meeting places to discuss the latest developments, and we want to cover highlight issues and examples specific to these particular industry sectors, but we are open to all. We welcome those interested in proposing and discussing joint solutions to build more secure firewalls, protect data, and ensure a safe working environment for employees. Next slide, please, John. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to Rebecca Herold, but before I do that, a couple of quick words of introductions. She has a bio on our website and on her own website as well. She has a whole slew of certifications. She is very highly qualified. She's the co-founder and president of Symbis LLC, an information security and privacy company that provides management cloud services for organizations of all sizes and all industries, and was founded in 2014. Rebecca is an entrepreneur with over 25 years of systems engineering, information security, privacy, and compliance experience. She's authored 19 books to date, dozens of book chapters, hundreds of published articles. She has led many government groups on standardizations, serves on any number of advisory boards. She's an expert witness for information security, privacy, and compliance issues. She's helped hundreds of covered entities, business associates, and medical device vendors in healthcare industry throughout her career, as well as current clients and her Symbis360.com business. Rebecca was an adjunct professor for Norwich University for a variety of programs for many years. She graduated with honors with degrees in mathematics, computer science, and education. She's based in Des Moines, Iowa. And with that, I turn it over to Rebecca. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Can you hear me okay? Hopefully so. I'm really excited for this event today. And, just to give a little background, for the past 15 years or so in the U.S., think about it. When you go to a doctor's appointment, there have typically been signs posted asking everyone to turn off their cell phones. And in recent years, though, after much pushback from patients, a large majority of those signs have changed to asking that phones simply be silenced instead, so that those seeing the physicians and in the waiting rooms could continue to text and go online and so on. Well, as a result, we increasingly have more smartphones and online devices in use within healthcare provider settings, wirelessly sending and receiving data. So last year, I was sitting on the table in the exam room of a musculoskeletal imaging specialist, and I was surrounded by all these many different types of medical devices waiting for the doctors to arrive. So, of course, I decided to use my free Wi-Fi Access Finder app to see how many different medical devices were active in the room. Well, not only did I find over a dozen wireless medical devices and associated systems that control them, but my app also reported that none of them used encryption, and there were no passwords required for authentication on any of them. I could also see the network names, and if I wanted to be really malicious, I could see the data that was being sent within the facility's network through them. Now, when the doctors arrived, I asked them if they had good security on their networks and devices, and they said, yes, we've got a really great information security department, so I'm sure we do. Well, then I showed them my smartphone, and I showed them what I found in that very room, and I explained that if I had been malicious, I could have accessed all the data on those devices and systems and sent it to some unknown and faraway cloud server, and that others within the range could also at that very moment be accessing the data. And I went on to explain that from what I could see of their current security, that they were at risk for some significant breaches. And they may never even know that they were being breached. So I explained that if I could see those devices and data, then others could see them as well. And they were very startled, to say the least. So you need to think about this. Every day, more medical devices are being used that collect and transmit and store huge amounts of personal data. And every day, more medical devices are being enabled to communicate and share this huge amount of personal and health data with more and more types of devices and networks and systems. So every day you have all these new types of devices being offered and sharing huge quantities of data and unlimited unknown others. I released this infographic you see here this past January to demonstrate just some of the many privacy and security threats and vulnerabilities of medical devices. Everyone attending today can have a copy of this, and we'll be hitting a lot of these topics today. Next slide, please. So for today, first we'll have, and I'll go through the agenda and then I'll introduce Mitch. So first we'll have Mitch discussing his many experiences with overcoming challenges in securing medical devices. Then Steve Abrahamson will describe security risk management throughout the entire medical device lifecycle. Dave Saunders will then describe overcoming the IT and cybersecurity challenges within the Internet of Medical Things. Then Katina Michael will describe hacking the body using technologies in the Internet of Medical Things. Then I'll facilitate the Regulator Roundtable with Devin McGraw from the Office of Civil Rights and Linda Ritchie from the FDA to cover the controls that regulators want to see in medical devices. Then I'll provide a short summary and Tom will wrap up the online conference. So let's get started.